first we'll discuss about the project, like what exactly the project, and what exactly the project management process is, and how we are able to create these projects in the Oracle Fusion PPM module. Okay, so my basic understanding is that so everybody here knows about what is a project, and what how exactly this project works for a company. So in that case, so directly I'm not going in basics of what exactly the project is and how this company works for that particular project. Is my understanding right, Prashant and Mark?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So without wasting time, so I will directly show there are two types. One is setup part and other one is transactional part. So now I am explaining the case how a user can create a project after implementation of this Oracle PPM module. For that, so directly the user will go to this navigation, and directly he will go to projects area. So for projects area to visible here, there are some roles and responsibilities assigned to this particular user. Okay, now I am using the user as HCM implementation one user ID. So for this particular user ID, there are some roles and responsibilities assigned for this particular user related to projects module. Okay, so we'll basically discuss about the roles first. So for this functional area to visible here, what are all the roles assigned in the backend? So I will quickly discuss that.
Rizwan, just a
Yes.
step back, okay?
Yeah.
Can you just, provide an objective, like
Yes.
what is that you are trying to achieve in this session?
Yes.
You are going to show us how to create the project, and once you have created that, you are also trying to show us how the roles and responsibilities are created. If you can just, give us a brief introduction and then take us through, that will be of great help.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Actually, like I'm not preparing any PPTs and documentation for this because there is a lot of documentation present in Oracle website as well. So that's why I'm not preparing anything like that. But I will quickly will discuss in this Word document. Okay, is that fine?
Uh,
Yeah, that should be fine.
guys, you actually sent us a copy of the front page
Yeah.
when we were looking at this.
Okay. From
Uh,
tomorrow session, we will do that. Like I will prepare one small PPT, like what exactly we are going to discuss in this session. So it will be helpful, right?
that's correct. And also, sorry, I think you are just, jumping into the discussion. You should, like, we just want to understand, like, how this session will go through, what is the outcome of this such session, and also what topics you are trying to cover for today. If you can just, brief, and then tell us that, after this session, how
Yes.
we have to do get our hands dirty in terms of
Yes.
practical work, and then what documents that we have to refer. We haven't got anything,
Yes.
Rizwan.
Yeah, I
So
can
if you,
understand. Just what I'm saying is like you just listen the session so that you will understand like what exactly I'm going to tell, and what are the roles and what documents to be refer. I will cover everything, everything, each and every detail I can cover, and I can make you understand. That is for sure. Like after the session, like if you have any doubts related to this session, you can ask the questions and we will discuss, and we will remodify the way of my way of explaining. Is that fine?
yeah, all right, at least, if you can tell us what is
Yeah.
the topics that you're trying to cover for today, it
I
will
think
give us
we have shared these thing, right. Basically, we have shared the overview of these module, like what exactly topics we are going to discuss. But day wise also, I think we have shared that. Is that right? You didn't got the document?
I have got the document as a one whole bundle, but
Okay. Yeah.
probably if you can just take us through what you're
Sure.
going to cover, that will
Sure.
be really helpful for us, Rizwan.
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry, do I have a copy of that document, Prashant?
Whatever we have received in the email, Mark, that there is an Excel sheet with the details. I think I'm presuming that as the information because even I don't know. Sumaya, what is stopping for us to have the training materials? If you are speaking, you're on mute.
Hello,
Yes,
am I audible?
Yes, yes,
yes, we
yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Rizwan, can you let me know when can you share me the materials, or else we can share whatever we are having with us?
Yeah, yeah. We'll discuss that once the session is completed. We'll discuss like how we are going to share these documents and everything. Okay. So today just we'll just discuss the basic things. Okay. And from tomorrow we'll as we discussed, like we'll be preparing small PPTs, like what exact agenda of this particular section and what we are going to share after this session, the documentation, everything. We'll discuss in detail from tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. Prashant, is it fine with you?
Okay, that's fine. But I thought that we are not the first class for you guys, right? I mean, you would have already done various batches.
Yes.
Anyways,
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
look,
yeah.
look. I think I will definitely give my feedback. Uh, but somebody like us, where especially I have no idea, and for me, I need more details, guys, to pick up the things.
Yes.
And just if you just jump in, you will have things in your mind, and it's easy for you to talk about it. But just
Yes.
imagine there is another person who doesn't have any idea.
Yes. I will
Mm-hmm.
discuss from
So,
scratch. Like we'll
Prashant,
start.
what I'll be doing after this class, give me at least 1 or 2 hours so that I can share you the recording along with the material. Is it fine?
Uh, Look, that is okay, but I just want to make sure when I'm in the class, I can get my full attention and then absorb what is required from my end. So sorry to be a little bit in this direction, talk in this direction,
Yes.
but I was really surprised when you actually jumped into the topic where I had no clue what I'm going to learn. So I
Yes.
thought that it would be nice that we'll start with a brief introduction in terms of what we are going to learn in this class, and then what's your plan, and in that way we can all focus and then expect that and ask questions if we don't follow you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely. We'll go in this manner. Okay.
Sure, then like
Thanks for the feedback.
so can we start it from tomorrow so that like it will be better? Like now, if I explain also, you will. I think you will not able to. What I thought is like I can explain some basic things regarding this project and project creation. By explaining the concept, I thought I can show you these in instance. I will explain some concept. I will jump to the instance and I will show in there. So I thought in that fashion. So
No, 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 there is one. See, when you demoed to us the other day, it was good. Okay, we were able to understand. And today, if you can clearly, list down what you want to do. Like for example, you have listed there
yes,
project creation and task creation, roles related to project, and so these are
exactly.
the things that yeah. So what you are trying to tell us is how you are going to configure them in PPM. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, like
Okay.
how end user will create. This is a transactional part, and this is a setup part. So that's what I want to discuss, like concept wise each and everything. But you told like you want exactly the session plan and what exactly we are going to discuss in this session, right?
No, that's okay. But even if you can explain, talk to us on this no word pad or a
Yeah.
document, and tell us what you are trying to achieve, it is also fine with us. But let's
Yes.
start. I want today's class to be, the first
Yeah.
class to be really progressive
Yes.
and helpful.
Yes. So like okay, we'll see the session. Like any doubts, you can stop me in middle of the session. You can ask the doubts and we can discuss. Okay, no issues.
Yeah.
So now basically first I will start with the project creation and task creation. So once this PPM module is implemented, Okay, so how the end users will create the project, basically in the ppm module, how they are going to create the projects once this ppm module is implemented. So now we are not talking about the setups, we are talking about the transactional part. Now implementation is completed. Now user got a task to create the project and task related to for a particular, they got the new project in their company, and now they want to create the task. So before entering into for creation of projects, now here, as we are able to see this project's work area in this particular instance, so we need to assign some roles and responsibilities for this particular user. Okay, so basically these users was defined by the HCM consultants. So just I can show you like how we are going to assign these roles and responsibilities related to projects for this particular users. For that, we will go to these tools and we will go to the security console.
Yeah, Rizwan,
Yeah.
you have logged in as an admin, right?
Yes, this is a demo instance.
Yeah, demo instance, and you are logged in as an admin privileges,
Yes.
and you have all the access so that you can create these roles.
Y- Yeah, assign. I can assign these roles.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So uh, so these roles, like while implementing these projects, we will take the roles and responsibilities required for particular user. We'll take the requirement from the business, and we will assign the roles related to that user. While implementing itself, we will take these roles and responsibilities from the business. So again, after implementing these uh, these particular security console access will be given to one of the IT manager of that implemented company. So we will give that access to IT manager, so that he can assign the roles and responsibilities in future. If they require new roles, new responsibilities for this particular user, by themselves they can assign. So this is how it works. Now coming to users, we will select the particular user here, HCM implementation. We'll click on search. Now we are using this particular ID. We'll click on that. Now here the roles required for creation of projects is first one is project creator. So with this role, the user can create projects in the system. Okay, one is roles, project creator role, and second one is project administrator. Okay, with project administrator role, he can create the project, and he can create the budget of that particular project, and he can submit the budget for the project. Okay, and third one, project manager. Again, project manager can create the project, he can update the project, and also he can create the budget for the particular project. So these are the three roles required for getting the access of this functional area. Whatever we have seen that project functional area, these roles are required. So in detail, like there is a documentation like how this project creator role, what are the privileges, exact privileges we get, that we can share. For now, you, as it is a starting session, you just remember these are the roles required for creation of project, creation of budget, as well as updating the projects and budgets. Okay, now, so again, after the roles, there will be something called as data access. So now the question will come. Okay, I have assigned the project creator role for a particular user. Now this particular user, can he able to create projects for all the business units? So for all the business units present in the company, or else whether we have to restrict that particular user for creating the projects only in few of the business units. So that we can do it in the data access. Okay, this we will discuss in detail in a later session, but as for starting the session, just remember these three roles is enough for creating the projects in the system. Okay, next. So
Yeah, but you
generally,
still need, hang on,
yeah,
you still need to get somebody when you're saying data access, right?
yeah,
you still need to give somebody, even if we are in a from a complete setup, right? You still need to you still need to give that data access, don't you?
Yeah, we
Even if
need,
it
but
even if
if,
it's completely unrestricted, right?
yeah. So how it works means, first we need to give the roles, and for that particular role we need to give the data access. So in which particular view he can perform the transactions, he can create the project, he can create the budget. For that we need to provide the data access.
All right.
Yeah.
So, for my understanding, Rizwan, when you say data access, is it for creation, modification, deletion, and view,
Yes.
or okay? So there is sometimes, as Mark suggested, there could
Yes.
be other BUs where we just want them to view,
Yes.
but having said that, they won't have any access to create or update or delete.
Yes. So there are two types of roles. One is standard roles and other one is custom roles. Okay. So in these standard roles for a project creator, directly user can create the project, update the project. Okay. So suppose if the business said that only this particular user, he should only view the project. He should not update the project. In that case, we will duplicate these existing role and we will create the custom roles based on the requirement. So we will see like how we can prepare a custom role in the upcoming sessions in the end. Okay, there is a requirement for that, like how we can create the custom roles based on the business requirement. Only this particular user can only view the projects, he can only view the cost transactions, that we can prepare the custom roles. So there are two types of roles present in the system. These are standard roles which are given by Oracle, and the custom roles we will prepare based on the business requirement. Is that fine?
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I understood now, the project creator can create the project, can modify the project. These are all the functions of the project, what he can do.
Yes.
And from a data access point of view, I
Yes.
can set which team or which resources, who all are the resources, who could access these
Business unit.
features.
Yes. In which business unit he can exactly perform the transactions.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So for now, so here coming to instance, we will open that particular user, we will click on edit, and we can click on add role, and we can search the particular role. As we are now familiar with these names, project creator and project administrator, so we can directly search that role. Now here, basically now already we have assigned that role, it is not showing here. If you are not assigned, directly it will show the project creator role. We should click on add role membership, and we should click on done. So once we click on done, the role will come here. Okay, project creator. So it is already assigned for this particular user. So this is how we will add, and we will click on save and close. Okay. Now,
Right. Yeah. Can I ask a question?
yes, sure.
Yeah. Can you just go to that project creator, please? Yeah. 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 So I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Role. This is fine. This is a role code.
Yeah.
Uh, there is an assignable and auto provision. So what are those things?
Yeah, this assignable is like, if we click on this assignable, we can select these users roles, and we can assign it to the other user. So if I click on this, so if I want to assign the same roles present for this particular user to other user, I can directly assign that roles to other user.
I'm not sure whether I understood this one, Rizwan.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, suppose like there are two users. One is which we are using, HCM user. Now other user is Rizwan. So if I want to assign these particular roles present in the system for this HCM user, if I want to assign that roles to me, So that directly I can open my user id and I can assign this particular, I can search for this HCM id and I can assign the roles from that id to my id.
So I can self-assign is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Mark, if you are the project creator, you can assign another project creator. Like you can include me as a project creator. Is that right?
That's
Yes.
what I
And
list.
here basically here, suppose if I click on assignable here, if I open the other user id, so this is one more user, add role. So in search option there is something called as users. Okay. Here only 4 roles were added from this particular user. From HCM implementation role, only 4 roles were added to this new user because only 4 were selected as assignable. So I can assign previous users roles to the new users by taking the reference of that previous user. Did you got that?
Actually, I'm afraid I could not get that one, Rizwan. So can we just take an example?
Yes.
You have created one, what is that? Role, create project role, right?
Yes.
And
I have assigned to this particular user. I have assigned that project creator role to HCM implementation one user. Okay.
okay. Oh,
Now
HCM one implementation one is a username, is it?
username, it is a username like Rizwan. This is Rizwan
Okay.
and
Okay.
HCM implementation is Prashant. Now, okay. These are the
Correct.
two
Correct.
users present in the system.
Correct.
Now
Okay.
I have assigned the role to the Rizwan's ID first. Project
Correct.
creator role to the Rizwan's ID. And I have selected as assignable there.
Correct.
Okay. Now, as I kept assignable there, I can open the Prashant's user ID and I can
Yeah.
click on edit
Yeah.
and I can click on add role. Now
Yeah.
here, without selecting the roles, I am selecting the user.
User. Okay. Got
User
it.
that is Rizwan. That is HCM implementation one. Okay, I can select this. I can add the roles from the user.
Got it. Got it.
So
Okay.
only as project creator is assignable, that project creator will assign to Prashant's ID. Now,
Yeah. So once it is assigned to Prashant, can Prashant assign to someone else, like Mark in this
yeah,
case?
yeah. If it is assignable in Prashant's ID, he can assign to some other person.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But
But in
If I
this
go
case,
in there
even
and copy it, right, do exactly the same thing as, if I got the access to this user thing, I can go
yeah.
in there and say, Prashant, you're going to be assigned everything that I've got.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
This is
correct.
Mark assignable.
So yeah, that's correct, Mark. Mark, in our OSP program, you will have your user ID as assignable, so that whenever we need anything, you can assign those roles to any one of us.
yeah. But one thing we have to remember is for getting these axes, for getting the security console axis, there is one role. Now I am able to see this security console in my system, right? I'm able to access the users and all the users present in the system. I'm able to access the roles. For that also there is a role called as IT security manager. If the user has this IT security manager, then only he can access this area, IT security
Mm,
manager. So
mm.
for my
Yeah.
Okay.
ID, now I have this IT security manager. That's why I'm able to access the users. I'm able to add the roles, everything.
Okay, got it. I think that was my first question. You're logged in as IT
Yes.
security
IT
manager. Got it.
manager. That's why I'm able to see the security console, this tab here. If I don't
Mm,
have the
mm,
IT security manager role for my ID, I'm unable to add the roles. I'm unable to assign the roles, everything. Okay.
mm.
These how these roles, responsibilities, and in detail we'll discuss in one particular session. But for now, like you want to understand, right, how directly it is this project area is visible here. So without for not creating the confusion, I'm explaining the basics now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, done. So now we got the roles, and we'll check how this data axis quickly. How we where we'll assign this data axis for these particular roles. Okay. For that, we'll navigate to setup and maintenance from here. Setup and maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see how you got that, Prashant? It was a bit quick.
Yeah, it was a bit quick. Yeah.
Yeah, just take me through it slowly. You got to click on the HI,
Okay.
and
Go to
then
the HI. Yeah.
yeah, there's a menu there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Menu, from menu, we'll go to setup and maintenance. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
We'll click on setup and maintenance. Okay. From the taskbar, we'll click on search here. Now we'll type manage data access.
Sorry, I'm taking notes here. Where was the taskbar? Which one are you referring to?
1 minute, I'll click on done. Here there is a 1 minute. From right side there is a taskbar, we call it as taskbar for this.
Yep.
Okay. From the taskbar we will navigate to search option.
Right. So this is
Okay.
searching for all our functions, right?
Yeah, this is a global search. We call it as a global search. Manage data access. We'll click on search, enter. Okay, once we enter, there is a function called as manage data access for users. Now in the previous thing we have given the roles. For that particular roles in this page, we are going to give the data access. Okay. Now if I want to check the existing data access for the users, I can just click on users with data access. Okay, I can search the user name HCM implementation 1, which we are using now. Okay.
Yeah.
I have selected my username and I can click on search. Okay, so here for this user, he has the data access for project manager role, project creator role, project accountant role, and project administrator role. For now we have discussed only these 3 roles. So for these 3 roles I have given the data access only for this particular business unit. Okay, in this instance there are hundreds of business units available, but I have restricted this particular user. He can create only projects in this particular business unit. Okay, suppose if I want to give data access for this role for other business unit, so I can just click on plus. Okay, this is create data access for users. Have clicked on plus. I will select the user, that is implementation 1. Now whatever the roles present at the back end, it will visible here. We can search our role, project creator. Now it is asking the security context. So whether you are
Yeah.
going to restrict it for business unit or whether you are going to restrict it for project organization classification. For now we have not discussed about the project organization classification, so you can ignore that. So you can click on business unit. Now it is asking, so for which business unit you want to restrict this particular user for creating the projects. Okay,
So
so
if it
I'm
was
select,
Japan, okay, yep, got it.
Yeah.
we can click on save and close.
Yeah, that's fine.
So here we got the access for this particular business unit also. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But it won't duplicate, right? It won't duplicate for the project
no,
creator for the same BU.
no. If I try
Yeah.
to add, it will system will throw an error. Suppose now I
Okay.
will click on HCM implementation 1, and if I want to give the project creator role again for the same business unit that I already have given for Supremo US business unit. If I try to save and close, a record with this combination of value already exists.
Yeah.
System will give
Okay.
us the error.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how we give some roles and data access to get this functional area.
Right. So there's two functional areas you can
Yeah.
access: the one business unit or the other one, which you'll explain later on, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, before entering into the projects, we will discuss some concept related to project types. So how these project types will exist in our businesses? Like what are all the project types? So if I ask you, give some examples of project types. So what exactly you will define as a project type in our daily business?
There's project types that you can actually use for that would be
Yeah,
just for containing costs, right?
yeah.
So
So
you've got
basically, if
yeah,
I talk about the project types, you will give me examples of like construction projects, right?
well, you have
Yeah.
a construction project, but that's going to be
Transportation projects, something
Apex,
transportation,
capex, whatever.
capex projects,
well, that's capex
manufacturing projects.
constructions are sort of the same
Yeah,
thing here, right?
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean, I was trying to give you broad classification. So um, advertising projects, right?
yes, advertising projects. So you will give the examples of this. But Oracle has classified these all the project types which you have discussed, like construction project, transportation project, advertising project, or some sales project. Maybe we have different types of projects in our businesses. But what Oracle has done is they have classified these project types into standard three types. One is billable projects. So basically, whatever we discuss in the system, we discuss in terms of financials, okay, related to costing, related to billing. So what Oracle has done is they have classified these project types into billable projects. Next is capital projects, that is our capex projects, okay. Next one is internal projects. Internal projects, or we sometimes call it as indirect project. So what is the difference between billable, capital, and internal projects? So coming to billable projects, so here we got a project from a customer, okay. We will do the service, we will complete that project for that particular customer, and we will do, we will charge, we will send the invoice, and we will do billing for that particular project, and customer will pay us the amount, and we will get the revenue for the particular project. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
Yes. Now in capital projects, like here, capex projects are like we will maintain some capital projects related to assets. Okay. So we will build some asset for our company, and this is for our internal purpose. So we are not going to charge for any of our customers. We are not getting any revenue for this kind of projects. We will just build an asset, and we want to maintain depreciation. I hope you know the term depreciation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these kind of projects we will create under the capital project type. And internal projects are like some of the miscellaneous projects, or some of the social projects which we do for our company, but we are not going to save, we are not going to charge for any of our customers, and we are not going to maintain any depreciation, and we are not going to capitalize for that particular project. These kind of projects will come under the internal and indirect projects.
Right. So these are basically just straight out OPEX projects then.
Yeah. So I think in your business case, you are only having the capital projects, right, for now?
Um,
Uh, we will have both capital as well as
internal.
operational and internal.
Yes,
Yeah, we won't be doing
Bill.
all. At the moment, we
Yeah.
won't be doing all.
yes.
Yeah.
So now if I talk about this example, construction projects, this advertising projects will come under the internal projects, right? You're not going to charge any of your customer. Now construction project will come under the billable project, because suppose if I take the example of construction of house, we will
No,
construct a house for the customer, and we will charge
no.
for that, and so that comes under the billable projects. Transportation project, this will also come under the billable projects. So Oracle has given
Rizwan,
the, yes.
1 second. Mark was saying something. Mark, you were saying something? Sorry.
Now, all our capital projects, all our projects that we have in the system that we use, we operate that as a as projects that we capitalize and we put them into the fixed assets register. Nothing is built and not built.
Yeah.
We do not use use anything remotely for a billable project.
Okay. Still as a course content, we'll discuss the basic things related to billable projects as well, so you will
Oh
get the
yeah,
understanding.
it's
Oh,
useful
yeah,
to know.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What I mean is more emphasis on the other two first, then we go into billable.
Sure, no problem. Yeah. So now this is the setup. This is the setup part. So at the initial stage of the business itself, as a consultant, we will take the requirement, like what kind of projects you are going to maintain in the Oracle PPM module. We'll ask the users. We'll take the requirement, what exactly your projects you are maintaining in your legacy system. So based on that, we will configure the setup. Okay. So
Right.
now we will discuss first. We will discuss like how we will do the setup related to capital project type. Okay. So I will directly go to the instance now. So any setup we want to do in the system, we will navigate it to the setup and maintenance area. We'll click on this user ID and we'll go to setup and maintenance. Okay.
Rizwan, can I ask a question?
Yes.
When we are doing this configuration,
Yeah.
is it that advisable for the whoever who is going to do this work to have IT security manager access, or for doing this job there is another
Another role.
role that can be created?
Yes. Now for accessing the setup and maintenance area and for creating the setups related to that, there are some other roles related to implementation consultant. Okay, there are roles related to the implementation consultant. Whoever has this implementation consultant role, he can only implement this, because we are implementing for a business, right? We are creating their project types, we are creating their the setups related to projects and everything. So for accessing the setup and maintenance area, there is other role called as implementation consultant role. So we will discuss on that also.
Okay.
Okay, is that clear for now?
Yeah. So as
Yeah.
part of our practicals, when we are getting our hands dirty,
Yes.
whenever we are doing this configuration,
Yeah.
we will have a role created in our name with a access role and access as implementation consultant. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can directly go and create the setups directly in
Yeah,
the
I
initial
think
stage,
yeah, I think we
because
need to
like,
be a little bit clear here because Prashant's very new to this.
yes,
Prashant, the implementation consultant is
Yeah.
actually used for the base configuration of the machine, right?
Mhm.
And we've jumped from there back from actual the project creator, right? Which is going to
Correct.
use elements that we set up under the implementation consultant area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Look.
that distinction very clear because it may confuse him where we're jumping between transactional
part and
information.
setup part. Yeah, that's right. Like this will be working hand in hand. We will discussing one part is setup part and we'll discussing the transactional part after implementation. So we should be very focused in these two things. So if we can differentiate this, it will be very easy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
All right. Look, that's where I raise my hand and then get myself brushed up, which is good. So what I understand is in this configuration, that which is what we are trying to achieve now,
Yes.
you are doing this as an implementation consultant. Okay. Go
Yes,
ahead.
exactly. Now only initially we have discussed only two things. One is roles and roles thing you are cleared, like what exactly we need IT manager for creating the roles and assigning the roles. And next thing is
Yeah.
only one setup we have discussed so far is project type. So we are going to see how we are exactly doing these configurations as a implementation consultant.
Yeah. So just just for people like me, just go there,
Yeah.
go back to that one. Yeah. Go back to your Word
Go.
document.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just put in bracket, just say setup or
Yes.
config,
Yeah.
config
I have written
as
setup.
whatever.
I have written the setup
Yeah, that's fine.
or config. We'll write it as config.
Yeah.
Config.
And
So different.
yeah, and then as we are doing config, just highlight it as implementation consultant or
Okay.
whatever.
Implementation consultant can do this, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now for doing this particular setup, we will navigate to setup and maintenance. Okay, from the user ID, we click on this user ID. We will navigate
Yeah.
to setup and maintenance. Okay. Now there are lot of functional areas because Oracle has lot of other modules as well. So for our configs, we we will navigate to we will select our functional areas project financial management. Okay, setup area is project financial management. Under project financial management, there are lot of functional areas defined. So for creating this particular setup, which we have discussed project type, we will navigate to project foundation.
Hmm.
Okay, from project foundation, we will select it as all task. Here we'll select show all task. So we will search our configuration, which we are going to do now. That is manage project type.
Yeah.
Here we can go and we can select that setup, or else we can type here percentile manage project percentile percentage project type. If you search here, system will directly give us the option. If you know the name, we can search directly. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the basic whenever we start taking the requirements from the business, first setup we will discuss on this project type first. So what exactly what kind of project they are maintaining in their system. So once we know that, then only we can proceed with the other configurations as well. Okay. So before this project type also, there are some setups related to enterprise. Okay, there are some
Mhm.
setups related to enterprise, like setting up these business units, legal entities, other things. But for transactional part to work, first setup is project type. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I will click on manage project type. Here we can, for creating the new project type, we can click on add here. This is add button. Now system is asking us the name. Suppose if our company name, we will take it as example as L&T construction. Our company name is L&T construction. So now we are going to create the capex project type. L&T construction capex project type. We can give it as name like this.
Mhm.
Okay. Now it is asking the set. This is set is related to the business unit. So if for which in which business unit you are going to create this particular type, project type. Okay, system is asking us, so in which business unit you are going to create this capital project type. So we need to assign that set. So in
So
detail
that,
we'll be
that set is
discussing
a
on this.
business unit, or is it something different?
Yeah. So again, this setup we'll discuss at the latter part. For every each and every business unit, there is some reference set allocated to that. Okay, for each
Hmm.
and every. So now we are going
Uh,
to create these project type in the Supremo US business unit. For that Supremo business unit, there is one set assignment. This is like again data reference set. Okay, that is
sorry,
assigned for that particular business unit.
Rizwan, sorry, I could not follow.
Yeah.
Look, I need to understand two things. Is this set a master data with certain meaningful value, which is uploaded or derived as part of each BU departments or departments list?
Yes. So basically, this data reference set is for we configure each for each business unit. We will allocate one data reference set. Okay. It means
Mm.
we are segregating the setups related to each and every business unit. Now, these data reference set is related to one business unit that we have discussed is business unit. We have given the data access right in the previous initial steps. We have given the data access for the Supremo US business unit, right? For
Okay.
that Supremo US business unit, there is one reference set allocated in the backend. There is one setup. I will show you that. So for that particular business unit in system, it is this data reference set is allocated. It means whatever the setups we create in the system by using this data reference set, it will differentiate. So this setup is only related to this particular business unit, Supremo US business unit. We cannot use this setup for other business unit as well.
Okay. Now, my question is,
Yeah.
what is the significance of this set when we have a business unit?
Yes.
Why do I need another name? You said that it is US Supremo,
Yes.
okay, which is a BU.
Yes.
Now we are having another set name called E360 US BU SET. Why we have to call it as a set, and what is the meaning of this one?
Yeah. So basically, they can give the name of the set as a Supremo USBU set. They can give that, but based on their company requirement, based on that, they have given some other name E360. Both are same. So for the particular business unit, we can name this set as a Supremo US business unit. Direct business unit set. We can name it as like that. So there will be no confusion. But they have given some different name that is creating the confusion. But both are same. For each business unit, we will give the set assignment, that is reference data reference set. It means we are differentiating the setups related to each and every business unit. Suppose if I take the example, I will explain in this. So for my company, there are four business units. Okay, four business units present in my company. One is India business unit, UK business unit, next is US business unit, next is Canada Mexico business unit. Okay, Germany business. Five. We have five. We will take it as five. So there are five business units present in our company. Okay, for each and every business unit, we will prepare one data reference set. Okay, we can name
Mhm.
it as India BU reference set.
Right.
Okay,
So
for you.
where are you creating this reference set?
Yes.
Is there a separate
Yes.
page to create the
Yes.
data reference
Separate
set?
page. We will assign that. Basically, these setups are related to the finance consultant. As a Oracle consultant, Oracle PPM consultant, we will not do the setups related to these uh, setups related to this data reference set, but we can see that. So that functional area is financial. As a financial consultant, while taking the requirement of their enterprise structure, business units, they will decide that reference sets. Okay. So for that, we will navigate to financials, and we can search it as manage business unit reference sets. 1 minute. Manage business unit set assignment. We have one configuration related to the finance module. Basically, this setup will be done by the finance consultants. They will take the requirement, like for which business unit we need to assign the data reference set. Okay. For each and
Okay.
every transaction, there are some data reference sets allocated.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I understand now is
Yeah.
in one BU that whatever that you had, a UK BU set,
Yes.
you can have multiple reference data set.
Yes. Based on the
And
transaction.
yes, okay. And then you have to create, what is this reference data object? Set code
This is
is there,
this is
and
the
then
name. Suppose if I click on project, so for project accounting definition, they have allocated the set. So whatever the setups we do related to projects, we need to allocate in the setups. We need to allocate this particular data reference set. Then only the system will pick that particular setup.
Mm, okay. So Mark, is it a unique identifier kind of a thing?
It's an identifier, yeah, because again, it's an identifier that actually I can set up different, in any of the different systems that I have, I can set up different definitions. So it actually picks up those definitions that are only related to that particular uh, geographical business unit, right? So
Yeah.
similarly, if you think about it, like with the tax engine, right, you would set up a different tax regime for Australia, say, for different one from New Zealand, different one for the
Mm,
UK, right?
Yes.
mm.
So so
And
Okay.
it will differentiate the setups. So suppose
yes,
now we will take one more example. For this, now we have discussed about the Supremo business unit. For this, the data reference set is they have given this particular USBU set 360. Okay. Now, if I do any setup related to this business unit for projects module, I should use this reference set. Okay. Now, suppose if I take the example of other business unit, for that we can change the scope to other business unit here. Select and add, apply and go to task. We can click on save and close. Okay. So okay. So for this particular business unit, for UK business unit, the data reference set they have allocated is UK1 BU set.
Mm,
Okay. If I try to create the project type for this particular BU UK BU, I need to select the data reference set as UK BU set. For that, I will open the setup and maintenance. I have just duplicated the tab. We are opening our setups related to Oracle PPM. For that, we need to select our project financial management area. We
mhm.
need to navigate to project foundation. In project foundation, we will open the project type. Okay. So now here the data reference set. So it will decide like in which business unit I am going to create this setup. If I select UK business unit, it will this setup is related to UK business unit. The system will read like that, and we are
Yeah.
restricting the setups particular to the particular business unit. Basically, is that fine?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm LNT,
Constructions.
yeah, LNT construction capex project type. We can give it as name based on the requirement. And now I selected E because I know this. I have directly selected this. I know the set related to this particular business unit. I have selected that. So we have to check basically like for which business unit, for which data reference set is allocated in the back in that particular setup. We have to check that and we have to allocate that set. We can view the description here, and whatever the setups we do in the system while configuring and while taking the requirement, we need to give it as a backdated. whether it has 2000 from 2000 or something 1951, like that we have to give. It is a basic,
Standard Oracle setup.
yeah, because it is a setup, like user may in future we may get some other requirement to
Yeah.
create the transactions in that particular period, so that if you give it in the back date it will be helpful for us.
Mm.
Okay,
And how about to date?
to date, like if suppose now we have created from start date as 2000, now you don't want to use this from February 10th, you can rightly select. So you cannot use this project type after February 10th in the
Okay,
system.
so
You
that's
cannot create projects by using this project type.
yeah. So basically, you're end
And
dating
dating
this
for this
project.
particular setup.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we will not discuss about this work type. It is only for the information purpose, whether it is billable or non-billable, like that. So for now you can ignore that. Now next, it is asking, the system is asking us this particular project type, whether it is billable. We have just given the name, it is capital project type, but we have to tell the system, see, whether it is billable, capital, or burdening, or enable sponsored project. Now as we have discussed, there are only three types. One is billable, indirect, and capital. If I select enable capitalization, system will read this project type as a capital project type. Okay, next, if I enable billing, system will read this project type as the billable project type. If I deselect all this, I have not enabled anything, and if I just click on save and close, it means the system will take it as a indirect projects. It is neither billable nor capital. Is that clear?
Mm, mm. What happens if I select all of them?
Yeah, next, coming to that. So there are three types, right? One is billable and capital and non-billable. If you select,
Mm,
ignore these things, burdening and enable sponsor part is altogether a different topic. We will come to that later. These two are only, we have three types now: billable, capital, and indirect. So if you enable these two at a time, billable and capital, this project type, for some tasks you can do the capitalization, and for few tasks you can do billing for that particular task. For a project
mm.
there may be, you can create different tasks, right? Few tasks may be billable and few tasks may be capital. You can capitalize that few tasks.
Correct.
It works
Okay.
both way.
Mm.
You can enable
Uh,
both
uh,
options.
yeah. Can you advise us, like, we understood how you do for capex.
Yes,
How to create a project for opex?
operational is billable, like you are charging, right? You are charging for
No, you're
customers.
talking about an internal project. Internal project, mate.
Intern,
Internal is
Internal's indirect, right? It's where we just basically use it as a costing how
yeah,
would you call it, a costing cylinder, right? So you throw a
yeah,
whole heap of money into it, right? And you
yeah.
mm,
actually
In that
you
case you will
actually do
use
that.
the indirect. So
Yeah, it'd be like
directly you will not select anything, and you will just click on save and close for that kind
right.
of
okay.
projects.
Okay,
All right.
thank
System
you.
will read it as a indirect projects, internal projects.
Yeah. It'd be a good example of that, Prashant. Say you might have a marketing campaign, right, where you're using different
Mm,
departments in your marketing campaign, and there's different
yeah.
costs to go and buy people with on invoicing, but it's all
Yeah.
expenses, right? So
Correct.
those you're just holding all that information so you can actually monitor how much this advertising campaigns cost you. But there's wages which still go to wages. There's other expenses that still office expenses that still go to the office. There's stationery. There's whatever, right? But it's
Correct.
it's it's just holding them in a container.
Right. So yeah, in that case, what we do is we don't select any of these check boxes, and
Then you can just click on
we
save
will
and
we will, we will have those different types of project names mark
Yeah.
and project types, and then it should be good enough. Okay.
yeah. Now if you, it is straightforward for billing and indirect. Like you can
Yep.
just click on this enable billing and you can click on save and close. And if you want to use indirect, you should deselect all. You can click on save and close. But
Correct.
for capitalization, we need to do few more additional setups. Okay. Once we enable this option is enabled, capitalization options. Okay. So if I deselect this, here it is like we cannot, we system is not asking us to selecting the capitalization options. Only for
Yeah.
enable capitalizations, there are few more setups will enable that. For now I am selecting the, so there are two types of cost. Whatever we do is raw cost. For now there are two different types of cost, burdening cost as well as raw cost. For now whatever we discuss is raw cost. I think you know the difference between burdening or raw cost, or should I give some basic info on that?
For my benefit, you can give
Yeah.
some more in details,
Yeah.
Rizwan.
So basically raw cost and burdening cost, suppose if I take the example, we are ordering one material for a particular project. The material cost is 100 rupees, and the
Mhm.
transportation charge, transportation for that with transportation it may be 110 rupees. So
Mm.
if I talk about the raw cost, you can directly put that 110 in the raw cost. You can take it as a raw cost, you can directly think that 110 as a raw cost. Or else you can differentiate like 100 is my raw cost exactly, and 10 is my additional burdening cost, additional miscellaneous cost. You want to track in that way. So for that we need to enable the burdening options in the Oracle PPM module. If you want to track the miscellaneous cost separately other than the actual cost, actual raw cost incurred.
It's like
Okay.
adding a percentage cost based upon the raw cost. So,
Yeah.
and that burdening cost is actually done at the end of the month, isn't it? It's a
Yeah.
process we run, but it's more if you wanted to put additional cost in for overhead.
Yeah, overhead cost. If you want to track separately in the system for that overheads, you can enable the burdening. But in my experience, like most of the clients whoever implemented, mostly they will use the raw cost, because the overhead cost also they will allocate to some particular cost and they will give it as a raw cost in the system directly. So they don't really track exactly the burdening cost and raw, that all differently.
Yeah. And Prashant, just to make it confusing, right? Sydney Airport, Tabcorp, um, the Star Casino all use burdening.
Oh, wow. Wow. Ah, they want all the details.
Yeah. All right, sorry,
Okay.
continue on, Rizwan.
Continue, guys.
Yeah. So initially we'll discuss most on the raw, and later once we familiar with these kind of transactions and everything, we can discuss on the burdening options, how we enable that all. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
later on, much later on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
much later on. Yeah. So one thing, Rizwan, like, I am the functional expert and I'm trying to implement this with the business. So
Yes,
basically, I need to have some kind of a template where if I want to create a certain type of project, I will
yes,
go through these questionnaires and then I will understand their business model. And
yes,
then the
Prashant's
next
contained,
step,
Prashant's contained in
yeah,
the config workbook, which
yeah.
is standard issue from Oracle.
yes.
Okay, okay,
Not
okay,
Okay,
got
exactly
it.
not standardly issued by Oracle, but for different companies they will maintain different templates, configuration workbooks, as mentioned
mate?
by Mark. So we will be there is one list like what initially we should take the requirement, what setups, which is applicable for the business, which are not applicable. Based on that, we will refer that configuration workbook and we will take the requirement from the business.
Okay, all
If
right.
you want, I
Thank
can
you.
share some sample configuration workbooks of my
Oh,
previous
please.
projects.
Yeah. Please. Yeah, please.
Sure. Okay. So next, this asset grouping method, asset allocation method, event processing model. This differentiation you will get once we perform the transactions. Okay, like how we are going to allocate the cost for the particular project, whether based on the current cost or actual units. This once we perform the transactions, you will get clarity on these three things: asset grouping methods, cost allocation, and event processing module. Event processing method is nothing but whether you want to manually allocate the cost to the asset, or else system should automatically pick from the project cost directly. So these things,
Yeah,
like once you do the
yeah.
transaction.
Accounting standards, mate. Rizwan, just for a matter of note, cost allocation method in Australia is actual, and it can't. It's against the law to do the other ones.
Yeah, actual units, like we can allocate the cost based on the actual units or current cost. So whatever the cost present to the particular project, directly we
Yeah,
can allocate that cost to the asset.
yeah. Cool.
Right.
Next, event processing module, like this is like it acts as a medium to allocate the cost manually or based on the current cost. This function will work. We'll once we can check this once we do the transaction. We can come back and I will explain you how these three setups will work. Okay, so for now these are the maximum setups required for creating the project types.
Yeah.
So we will create the project type, and once we create the project type, to create the project we need one more setup after this project type also, that is project
One,
template.
sorry, Rizwan. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah,
Can you, after we created, how do I check whether the project type has been created or not?
you can directly click on search here from
Mhm.
here. Okay, and you can see your name here, or you can filter by name.
Do you want to just show us
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
what it says? Okay, right.
yes, yes, understood.
So now it says L&T constructions and set. We made an enable capitalization, and then you had other settings. So it would not show all those details,
No,
or
you
is
If
there
you
just click.
something
if
that
you
we need
click
to
on
do?
edit, and now I am removing this end date, I giving as
Yeah,
29 at least, because we may use this setup in future.
yeah.
Okay, so this is how you can edit from here, and you can filter from here. And if you want to export all the setups present for your business, all the project types, you can export it to Excel as well for reporting purpose.
Mm, mm, mm. So, yeah,
So these are the options: to edit, to delete. Now I can delete this because I have not used these particular project type in any of the projects, because just I have
yeah.
created, I have not used this. I can delete from here. Suppose if I try to delete some other project types which I have used in creation of projects, I cannot delete that. I can just end it.
Yeah. Mark, sorry, Rizwan. Mark, just a side note here.
Yeah,
Can't our friends Varun and others come to the manage project types
yeah.
and search and to figure out what is capex and opex projects?
No, because you can actually modify those things down at the task level, right? So
Yeah, here
they,
they can see,
they,
right?
yeah, they can see that,
Enable
right?
billing,
But what
enable
sorry,
capitalization.
it's a specific question, Rizwan, in relation to what we were doing this morning. Sorry, this afternoon.
Yes,
Prashant, the projects were set up right, and
Yeah,
you can individually lock, take lines off or add lines on to make them capitalizable or non-capitalizable, and that was the issue. You can't see from here because this is merely being used to actually construct our template or to create our project, right? But a cap project, which is what our projects are, that have this mix, right, have got OPEX and CAPEX in it. And you can't pick that out by just simply looking at the project type. Sorry,
correct.
go ahead,
Yeah,
Riz.
got it. Yeah, got it. Your wonderful answer. Yeah, thanks.
No worries. Okay, Rizwan.
Thank you.
Sorry, man.
yeah. Coming to the setup, you can also by these setups also you can search and you can see whether it is enabled for billing, whether it is enabled for capitalization. You can see from here.
Excuse me.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, so this is one setup, and again for creating the projects. So I will show you one. So now we have created one project type. So if I am trying to create the project, so what are the details system will ask? We'll check that. So you will get some clarity. Now I have started creating the project. Now system is asking at the source template. Okay, so we have not discussed on the templates, like what are why we'll use these templates, what are all the things we will configure in that particular template. So before creating the projects, we have to discuss on the templates as well. Template setup, again this is also the setup part. So today we will not go into the projects, but I will also discuss on the template part before entering into the projects. Is that fine?
We're running out of time at 7:15. That's all.
Yeah. I think we are running out of time.
Okay,
Uh,
can we
Rizwan.
discuss tomorrow?